My name is Ruth Hogan, and I grew up in Pacific. I was born in a house across from Tiva's funeral home, and my grandparents owned the home, and my mother and dad lived there. And so then later, we moved out on a farm west of Pacific. It was part of my grandparents' home, homeland, you know.
Yeah.
And so we lived out there, and my dad worked at the gravel plant, and he also worked on the part-time on the highway when it was built.
Oh, yeah.
Route 66 came through. He
Uh-huh.
worked some on there, but just part-time. And then and the people kept their horses up there at our barn. They worked on the highway with the horses too, back in those days. And so anyway, I just grew up here in Pacific, and I went to the Methodist Church, which was just down the street here, but now it's west of town, and the old church has become a home. And when I sit here and I look out at it, sometimes I think of all the days I spent there with the youth group and everything, you know. And I sang in the choir, and my parents did too, and we just had a good time growing up. There were 5 boys and 3 girls.
Wow.
And so, like I said, we did a lot of work at the church, the Methodist Church. And then my sister, Martha, she sang with the Rosie Ho Trio. I sold a lot of milkshakes up here at the dairy.
Tell about Hogan Dairy.
And my dad started it, like I said, and then the boys took over, 4 of the boys, my brothers. And then I went to work for them as bookkeeper and ran the ice cream store. And of course I had some help, you know, with that, because I couldn't do it all. And so then finally I got out of the business, and my brother Don, he took over the dairy by himself, and the rest of us got out. And so then I worked for Dr. Ecker
Oh, okay.
as a bookkeeper and office manager. And so that was interesting too, and I learned some things, you know, how to help him, assist him. And I retired from there, or quit working there. He retired, and so then I ended up after working all these years in Pacific, I went into St. Louis and I got a job at the Jones Company there in, I don't know what you call it, just this end of west of St. Louis area. I worked there, and then I retired from the Jones Company. And well, when I worked at Dr. Ecker's, I also kept books for Dr. Tinnan, the dentist that was in the.
So
I did that in the evenings at home. You know, I could do his bookkeeping. I could write out checks, and he'd sign them and pay the bills and do that and enter things. And so I kept busy, yes. And then I finally gave that up and retired full time. But I kept doing that even when I was driving back and forth from to St. Louis. And then I've always gone to the Methodist Church, and it used to be down the street here from the care center. And then we moved out. My dad donated some land, and they built a new church out west of town here. And so I always sang in the choir, and I helped with the youth circle, you know, the MYF. And so that kept me busy.
Well, you know, working with the ice cream shop, you know, your father donating land for the new church, you know, your farm, did you just have a couple dairy cows?
Well,
Or-
I forget how many he milked, but he had quite a few, you know, that we milked. Probably, I don't know, close to 20
Yeah.
at one time. And yes, and
Did you do anything else on the farm?
well, he put up hay. And
Okay.
I helped put up hay. I got up on top of the wagon and helped stack the hay up there. And my uncles, Paul and Adam Avery, they would help us too, put up hay. And they had a farm west of town here, and where my mother grew up. And so it was just, I thought it was a fun life. I don't know.
With Hogan's Dairy, did you provide? I know you had the ice cream, you know, the shop up there. Did you also provide milk to the town of Pacific?
Oh yes,
delivery?
they delivered. Yes, my brothers delivered milk, and then to the town, and they went out to Catawissa. So they had a route out to Catawissa and Robertsville.
Wow.
And eventually they even went up to Union
Wow.
and had a route up there. I even ran the milk route sometimes when they get sick, and I'd help them.
We have a picture of the truck that you guys had, Hogan Dairy, the old truck.
Yeah, I drive the truck, and my sister, my brother's wife, Sandy, she'd go along and she'd help look out and see, you know, and I'd have to back up. Come on back. Come on.
Make sure you don't hit anything.
Yes. And so we'd laugh about all that too, you know, and had just fun, but hard work.
Being born and growing up in Pacific, have you noticed how it's changed over the
Oh,
years?
oh yes, and still changing.
How has it changed from your perspective? What have you noticed?
Oh, I don't know. Not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
A lot of population growth, that's for sure.
Right, right. Oh yes. Places that never had houses before, you know. And yeah, and they seeing all the people at the Catholic school, you know, when you go by there, there's a lot of kids out there, more than there used to be.
What was your favorite flavor of ice cream? Did you have one?
Oh, I don't know. Chocolate I liked.
Chocolate's my favorite too.
Is it?
I have a sweet tooth.
Yeah, but vanilla's okay too. And sometimes, you know, make a sundae out of it.
Yeah, with some
Yeah.
chocolate syrup.
Yes. And so, yeah, I liked ice cream, yeah.
Kind of, you were born to a family of it. You kind of have to.
Right, right. And the nursing home and our place, assisted living place, this property used to be Dr. Lieber, who was the veterinarian.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and all of this was a vacant field, you know, and he had a big home over there. Dr. Lieber, he used to come to my dad to the farm, and if we had a sick cow, you know, and Dad would call Dr. Lieber to come, or they were having trouble having a calf, you know, sometimes you have to call them.
Come out and
help deliver the calf. Anyway, yeah, Dr. Lieber was out at our house sometimes, out at our farm.
Your farm, your family farm, is it still in any sort of operation today? Or
No, and I didn't say that either. We sold it, you know, Mr. Cottrell
Oh, okay.
had the Cottrell trailer court, and it backed up to our farm.
Okay.
And he wanted to buy more land,
To extend
and so finally my dad sold him
the farm.
the rest of the farm that he had. And then we moved to Villa Ridge, and we were up at our home in Villa Ridge one evening, and someone called and said the barn is on fire. And so my dad and I got in the car and we went down and looked at it, watched it.
Wow.
And the fire department had been out there.
Wow.
I think it was pretty well put out by the time we got there.
Do you have any final words or advice you'd like to say before we sign off?
Well, just want to thank you all and hope everyone has a blessed, you know, life and good time together and their families, and cherish what they have.